All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first ever speaker hangout here with Teach Them Diligently. I am Leslie Nunnery, and today it is very exciting for us all to get to meet and talk with Pearl Barrett and Serene Allison, the Trim Healthy Mamas that will be speaking at all four of our events and that have just really made a huge impact on the lives of so many ladies and actually whole families, which I want to talk about here in a few minutes. But I want to just introduce them, and if you guys could tell us who you are, which one is which, and kind of where you're coming from, how big your family is, just give us a little bit of background on yourselves.
Well, I'm Serene.
And I'm Pearl.
And you guys can pick who's the oldest.
No,
It's me.
No, it's not. I'm the older bossy sister. It's my 6 years between us. So, well, I have the smaller family. I have 5 children, homeschool them all, and Serene.
I have 9 living at the home and some older that are married, but I cheated. I adopted, which was a fun cheat. Yeah. I've had 7 biological. Yeah.
Well, that is awesome. That is great. I want to come back and we'll talk about your children a little bit more in just a little bit. But I want you to tell us just briefly. I read your book and I loved the story of how you got to where you are, how you worked through all of these different things, and how you came to Trim Healthy Mama, and the way that you all now are helping people learn to eat and balance their lives and their meals and so on. But I think it's a fascinating story, and I know that you go in detail in your book, but can you just give us the Reader's Digest version here of how you got where you are?
Oh, wow, yes. We got where we are from, I think, doing everything wrong. Just listening to the wisdom of man.
Yes.
And it got us in places that, ill health. It got us to a place of fatigue. It got us to a place of where weight was out of control.
You know that Bible verse that says, there is a way that seems right to a man, but in the end it leads to destruction. Well, we kind of took those paths and we thought, oh, this is great. This is the way to be so rejuvenated and healthy. And we ended up really with a lot of health problems. Trying to get healthy, we got more unhealthy. And so, I'm kind of like OCD, where I do everything extreme. And so I wouldn't just try these fads for 3 weeks. I would be gung-ho for 7 years until I was like up in the grave about it. But so we really have some real experiences to share with these women. Hopefully they don't have to go quite through the problems that we went through.
But I think so many people have. I mean, because, the books out there tell you always to take some sort of food group out, like take out the meat or take out the fat or,
Or take out the carbs completely.
Yes. And so we came to a place called done. It wasn't because we had big, massive weight problems that we decided to try all these different ways of eating. It was because we wanted to find the ultimate way to feel healthy and to nourish our family.
And not to be control freaks, but we wanted to feel like it wasn't so vulnerable to have baby and more baby and think, oh, am I going to have to gain 10 extra pounds with every and feel, like I'm getting 10 less hours of sleep, a week. It's like we just wanted to feel healthy and feel slim and feel like we could do this and feed our families and do it on a budget. That's what we were searching for.
Yeah, and feed our husbands.
Was this too much to ask?
So when we finally got done and we just looked at each other, I remember one day having tried everything, saying, Serene, I said to you, is there really a way to eat that's gonna do this? I was like thinking, well, no, we're all just messed up.
Yeah, we were so done. I remember getting all of our research books. Now, we were research freaks. It was what we did for a passion, for a hobby. I got boxes of them, and I just heft these boxes off the deck. I'm like, I don't even want to take them to Goodwill. They're going to mess people up. This is all, this is medical doctors. This is research. It's just, I've got problems because of following these protocols. And so I heft them off the deck and we're like, we've got to go to the Bible. We've got to go to the Bible, I'm sure. I mean, we always went to the Bible for our spiritual guidance, but the Bible is so practical, and we kind of just missed going there for our physical.
And we went in there and it was just
guide points.
Straight away we saw all food groups were in there. We're like, hold on, no longer, we're not going to take them out anymore. That's it. All food groups are in.
Yeah, and I was staunch vegan, vegetarian, raw food, plant girl. Like, I'd gone through the whole extreme limiting food group diet plans, and this was like, whoa, but he is our creator and he wrote the blueprint. Science will always back him up in the answer. Right now, I don't care what doctor comes out with what. If it doesn't line up with the Bible, it's not right for us.
Yeah, so we, when we searched the scriptures, we just found this freedom. It was just like, oh my goodness, I can eat that. God made that for me. He designed my body, so he knows.
Yes.
So he knows, and I'm just going to put my trust in him. So.
And Pearl had some major health issues. And following just a very biblically based diet healed her issues. She was like the woman in the Bible that had the bleeding issue. It was really extreme. It was almost to blood transfusion levels that you needed to be like, but the thing was, is even though we got healed in our issues, our waistlines were getting bigger, not smaller. And so we thought, is there a way of doing this healthy, balanced, biblical approach and using science on how food is metabolized and what hormones are involved in that to be able to keep our girlish waistlines? And that's how we came up with the S and the E and the fuel pool. Not that we found an E pill, like in some book in the Bible. We didn't find that, but we used Bible as our foundation and some science.
And we just were our guinea pigs, and then we found that this works and word spread. And so you wanted the short version. That's the semi-short version.
You're gonna start. We'll be talking 10 hours from now.
Yeah, and we just let it work for us and others. They felt like we did. So that's it.
Well, it is so cool to hear you so passionate about what you have found and what you've discovered. Was it hard to add in after being so stringent and after kind of cutting everything out, and now all of a sudden you were adding in this stuff that went against what you had so passionately believed? Was that difficult? Because even in presenting these ideas to my mother, and she's going to kill me, it blows her head off to even think about this. So it's very hard for her to adopt.
I felt like I was becoming a smoker.
Yeah.
I thought I should just go and smoke a pack if I'm going to have a steak on my plate. That's how I felt.
You know what, though? We are so different, and we take two different approaches. It wasn't hard for me. I was like, bring it on, man. I have been without this for too long. I started enjoying these fats, these things that I felt so guilty about for so long. No, for me it wasn't hard. For her,
but I'm the food purist.
Yes.
I'm the food controller. But she's like, party with butter.
Party, yes. So different approaches, in each person will, I go think, will have their own journey through that.
Well, I know that you all have done touring together. You've had a musical career together. Have you always been this close? Do you live very close together? How do the dynamics of your relationship work? Because you've got so many accomplishments together, and especially with there being 6 years between you, that's fascinating.
Yeah, we're best friends. We have another sister who's 6 years older than Pearl, and we're all best friends as a group. But we're best friends.
Growing up, we shared a room. And
I think I used to annoy you back then.
Yeah, you did. We had two things. Every night she would come into my bed. So we slept in the same bed. I mean, we are basically attached at the hip, yet we're so different.
Yes.
I think, though, that we finish each other's sentences.
This is probably as close as we sit, we don't usually sit this close. Closer so they can see you. And
I don't know. It's just so easy.
You did put deodorant on. You smell lovely.
When you don't have to be nice and say the right thing as sisters. I can tell her that if she's being an idiot. We fought
the whole way through writing the book, and people who have read it can see that we do not have the same ideas on everything. And to get to a place where we would agree, I'm like, Pearl, you're not going to tell them to microwave food. And
she's like the purest granola mom, and I'm like the convenience food cook, and we just have to find this middle ground.
And I think that's why it has resonated with so many women, is because you don't have to be a me and you don't have to be a Pearl. It kind of reaches out to people because we're so polarized as far as our concepts on food. I mean, the foundation of health principles are there, but the way we do food is so different. So people are like, you know what, I can do this. And a lot of people come up to us and say, well, I'm a you. No, I'm a you. I fit in your category. So it's fun.
Well, when did your book actually come out? When did it publish? I think you self-published it initially, didn't you?
It's still self-published.
It's still self-published.
That name, Welby Street Press, on that's the street we grew up in Australia. So It was end of 2011, wasn't it? Yeah, it's been out a little over a year, a little more than a year. 2012, sorry. I have no track of time. Yeah, so 2012, end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Well, so many of the women that are homeschooling now, and we didn't even cover that. You guys homeschool, is this correct?
Yes, we do. And so, yeah, the whole process was 5 years of writing it through homeschooling. Our children.
And that's what we basically, it took 5 years because we used the summer holidays as our big chunk time. And in fact, we were like homeschooling a minute before we said hello to you, before we went on air. We're like, okay, that's enough. Go and play at Nanny's house, and then you can come back and finish your math. Sure.
I think we're all doing it that way. But I wanted to get you guys to weigh in, because so many of our moms are working in some capacity, whether they are writing, whether they have a job in the evenings, they're working offset with their husbands. How did you manage doing all this research, which is just immense in the book, and writing and homeschooling and running your home and doing all of the things that you did while you were writing it, and now you're promoting it and you're helping people and you're answering questions and you're talking to me and all these other things? How do you work it all in? Because I know people would be very eager to hear.
Wow. I don't know. You know, I'm not Superwoman, and I don't aspire to be. My house is not perfect. I'm not even the organized type. I know I should tell you have this wonderful plan on how to fit it all in. But, you know, a lot of the times when the children were in bed, we'd be researching. And when we were done with school, we'd get together in the afternoons and do it. And that's why it took 5 years. I mean, I think if you put deadlines on things, we broke every deadline we went past it. I think just still enjoying life and taking that time for family and doing all these things sort of around that nucleus. What about you?
Yeah, and I've always prayed, like, God, make this 10 minutes that I have right now to just pour into this little research idea, make it be like 3 hours of gold finds, you know, where I can just really find the truth about this. Or, you know, I'd always ask God to just kind of bless the small amounts of time that I have, because I've always wanted to keep family as the priority and have, you know, the schooling and time with my husband as children as the priority. And then there's days where I feel like I do not keep that kind of balance that I want, and I feel like I'm researching, and a little boy will come up to me and say, "Mommy, can you come and see this Lego ship?" And I'll be, yes, just wait. And then I feel the Holy Spirit say, that is the most important thing. You go and you see that little thing that he made. And so that is my daily challenge, is put them first, and God will bless the little, you know, he'll bless the small amounts of time that I can pour into whatever we're doing, as long as I put his priorities in focus, you know.
These days our time is it's still,
our house is not perfect at all, but you know, we've been having chili every night this past week. I don't the elaborate creativity things I used to.
But you know, I mean, I think to me it's always been a mesh too. Like when I homeschooling, I'd have my own book out, you know, and I'm a troubleshooter. Okay, you need help, but then I'm going to go back to my reading too, and I would learn along with the children.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what I still do. You know, I'm still doing as they're doing their thing. I like to get them sort of on their own, where they are doing their own thing and learning, and I'm there to help and facilitate. They see me learning too.
And my mum has been so encouraging. I would be like, "Oh, Mom, I feel so guilty," you know, and she's like, "No, they just need mummy moments." And oftentimes I've found when I'd be like, "Okay, I'm going to take this whole morning and come and sit, and we'll do tea parties, and I'll paint your nails, and I'll do this," and they just like want to run off and play. And if they don't, you know, when I give them these big slots of times, and I'm like, "I'm going to spend the whole morning just staring into your eyes," they're just like, "Mom, let me go. I want to go build a fort with my brother." You know, I realized as long as I'm there in the house, available when they have a question, available for that little kiss on the cheek, available for, it's the mummy moments. And so my mum helped me with that, and that's what I feel like.
So true, because our mother, all our life, she always had a ministry. I know she'll be speaking at Teach Them Diligently. Nance Campbell from Above Rubies. That was her. We got mummy moments, and I never felt deprived.
No.
But she was doing a wonderful big ministry. She was writing books. She was putting out magazines. She was busy, but did I ever feel like I didn't have my mother? I didn't.
No, she was always doing it around us. But if we were like, "Mommy, I'm hungry," she would go and cut us all little treats and make little special things for us. But it was it was the moments throughout the day. It wasn't, okay, this is your time, I'm going to slot you in, and then all afternoon I'm going to do my work. No, she worked all day, but she had us involved all day. So
I guess we learned it from her.
Well, that is so encouraging for those of us that do have to work, that to know that we are passing on really great things. The stuff that I think Satan tries to play with our minds, that you can't do, you're dropping the ball over here, or you're doing too much over here. If we are seeking God's face, if we are trying to keep our priorities right where He wants us to have them, our children will rise up and call us blessed. And I think that you all just really testified to that with your mom. It was really a blessing to hear from someone who feels like the stuff that God has given me to do is way bigger than I am.
Yeah.
And yet the knowledge that, you know, by God's grace, my kids can turn out and look back and say, I didn't miss out on my mom. I had her. She was there. And that is my heart's desire, as clearly it is yours.
Yes, it is. And you know, if they're getting these mommy moments of you, and that love and that acceptance and that, you know, here to help when you've got a math problem, I feel like it does the job. So that, and then that's all we've got, and so that's all we give, but we give it with heart and with love, and yeah, you know, God knows. He bless.
Well, have you guys are speaking at all 4 of our events this year, and then your mom and I think your dad as well are speaking in DC and Dallas. So we're very excited to have just a big family unit in those two events. But how much speaking have you all been doing over the last couple of years, especially?
Well, you know, we've tried not to do a lot just because we don't want to be traveling every weekend away from our children. We used to be traveling a lot for the music, and so we sort of have that in the back of our heads, never
We're
again.
traumatized a bit by that.
Never again. Oh, because, you know, I had babies and was on the road, and I remember my 3-year-old thought Cracker Barrel was home because we went to Cracker Barrel more than we were home.
She used to take naps in an open, the velvet part of the guitar case, you know. She was like 3 months old.
So we're just picking and choosing now, but yes, we have been doing more speaking about Trim Healthy Mama just in the last few months, and taking time, figuring out the right spots. We want to share to the most people that we can. And bless,
taking children along with us, you know, choosing little ones to take a special trip with us here and there, so it's special time with them.
Yes.
Oh, yay. So will we get to see any of them at Teach Them Diligently?
Yeah.
We're thinking of
combining a family holiday and these events.
We're thinking
Yay!
like that, just bringing all the children. And just
well, there are many, many, many children that will be in the house, so they will be in good company, and they will have great friends to play with. My kids are there for everyone, of course. I put them to work, but, you know, they'll have time to play, too.
Work,
yes. Yeah, I was going to say, too, about how does it work with you know, trying to homeschool. Just teaching good work ethic to the older children. I mean, they help out so much too.
So that we can do what we need to do.
Yes.
We really rely on our older ones.
Like if we were sitting down painting our nails, it would be wrong to tell them to go and would you please help, you know, fold the laundry. But if we're busy working and they're busy working and it all makes it smoothly, it makes the home work smoothly, then I think it's great when they learn to we're all working together for the greater goals of the family. So yeah.
I could not agree more. Well, getting back to Trim Healthy Mama for a few minutes, why do you think that it has resonated so loudly? And I mean, that it has spread like wildfire. Your Facebook page is huge. You've got Facebook groups for, it looks like almost every state. People are so engaged and so excited. Why do you think it has resonated like it has?
I think because people get that place of done that we were in. They feel so completely conflicted and confused about the information that's being poured out. They wonder if they can even, you know, find a way that's doable, that makes sense for their family, their husband. They don't have enough time to do all those things that we were doing.
They're sick of health advice and they're sick of fads. And one thing our book has tried to be is not any more of that health advice or another fad, but hey, this is just real Bible-based foundation stuff. It's real and something you can do. It's not some huge change. Your husband can enjoy the food. Your children can eat of the same meal. It's not like you have to make 4 different meals. It's so So
and I
easy.
think because we're all about celebrating food and food freedom, and we're all about treating ourselves to goal.
And then a woman can have chocolate cake for breakfast. I mean, want to do the plan.
And I think it resonates because we wrote this in our own chaos. And we know that life is not perfect for everyone else there reading our book. We know that they don't have these hours in the day. They don't have an hour to go to the gym. I mean, and they don't have, they don't have money to buy all these prepackaged food and to eat the special diet food.
Yeah.
And so I think that we had to learn to do this on stringent budgets, with little time, with chaos going around us while homeschooling. And so I think women get that.
Yes.
Well, what has been the most surprising, most exciting thing that has come out of this journey, especially since the book has published, that just kind of took you off guard and has been really, really cool?
I would say the response, because
yes.
we did not know.
The response and the testimonies.
Oh,
it's been huge. Like, we knew that the science worked. We knew that it worked in our lives, but we didn't know to the extent that it would work. We feel really humbled that God has chosen to bless THM, to bless it, because it's not just that they're losing weight, they're getting off their medications. Yeah. It's like huge things. We're like, whoa, this is bigger than us. This is God, you're blessing this. Your anointing is being poured out, and the stories and the testimonies are blowing us away. We cry. We're just like, when that little YouTube of all the pictures came out the other day, I was bawling. I was like,
I know. Yeah, that's been it. When we put this book out, we were like, we didn't know who would read it. We didn't know if 5 people would buy it and read it.
One person will lose weight, Pearl? I know it was worked out.
Well, we had friends and family that it worked on, but we didn't know that it continues to this day. I mean, the growth just, it's God, because it's
the sisterhood. We just feel like we've just got this big family out there of mamas. Together we're doing this. Together we're doing it, because we do it every day, and we feel like we're all doing it together. We're doing this plan together to be healthy, to be able to have more energy for our children and our husbands, and to feel in control of our health and our weight. We feel like it's great that we have a bunch of friends to do it with now.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of friends to do it with. Well, we actually reached out to you guys initially because one of the girls who helps us tremendously is just so critical to Teach Them Diligently. Read your book in August, and just her health, her body, everything changed. She dropped 50 pounds, I think, by Christmas. And we're going, what in the world? And she started telling us about, you've got to read this book, you've got to go call these people, you've got to. And I'm just so glad she did, because it's been astonishing to see, like you said, that sisterhood and how everyone is connecting over this. Well, with that in mind, I hear you guys have an announcement about something fun coming up at Teach Them Diligently. So I would love for you to tell everybody what you've got in mind.
Well, we thought, how about all THMs that are coming to Teach Them Diligently, let's get together and let's have a meetup. And we would love to hear from you. Like, if you have a testimony, a THM testimony, we want to meet you, and we'd love to hear it. And so we thought, maybe there's a time at each convention we can get together and just hang out.
That would be fun for
and
us.
Leslie was so open to that, and I think it would just so great, because we love to meet our readers.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just sitting here in our homes in the woods, and we don't get to meet people unless we travel to speak. And so it's just so meaningful when we get to see the real life story.
It's like our long-lost sister.
Yeah.
Well, we are so excited to be able to work that into the program. We've actually got it in on Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock. So all THM alum and current participants, well, I guess it's always participants, but those of you that are doing that, I hope that you'll plan to come and see them, hear them speak, which we're going to talk really quick about what they're going to talk about a little bit, but definitely come to those meetups, because I'm going to try to sneak in and hear everybody's testimonies and cheer, and I just think that's going to be the greatest pep rally ever.
I can't wait. Yeah.
Me too.
So can you give us really quickly just a little highlight of what we can expect to Teach Them Diligently from, what are you going to be talking about?
We're going to be talking about God's truth versus man's wisdom, because that was the big foundation of the book.
Yes. And really we're going to be talking about how does one do it? The busy life of a homeschooling mother. Just practical baby steps that are going to give you such huge jumps and leaps in your health and in your weight. And we're just going to, you know, basic practical things. We're actually going to do some cooking demonstrations
live
too.
Cooking, about 4 recipes that are just going to rock their world that they can do.
Yay!
Some live things, so who knows what chaos will ensue when we do that. When we cook together, things
fly.
Yes. So, you know, basically we're just going to share the truth that God has given to us, and we just want to pass it along. We're just still so excited about this message.
Yes, and also just a little bit of the basic core plan to for people that haven't read the book to just kind of get an idea. But we just really want to just be giving practical steps that ladies can take home, that easy, quick things that they can do amongst their chaos.
Yeah, and some people get overwhelmed. What, a 600-page book? What's that all about? I don't have time to read. I don't, you know, and they're so worried, are full of fear about just implementing one more thing that they could fail.
Yes.
And so we just want to bring that sense of you can do it. You don't even have to do it all at once. These are little things that if this is for life, you can just apply one step at a time, and you're going to be great. You don't have to do it perfectly overnight.
And the other thing we're going to talk about too is learning to drop the anxiousness of food, because even though we're going to teach you some wonderful steps, we want to also kind of just warn against getting a stronghold of fear with food. Because today with the GMOs and everything's toxic and there's not enough minerals in the soil, sometimes we can get oh, if I'm not in a bubble, you know, how am I going to feed my family healthfully? But it was kind of a pitfall for me in my life I just kind of got a lot of fear and anxiousness over eating pure, and it tore my health down. So just learning how to eat healthy as you can, but able to relax and trust the Lord overall for our health. So losing the anxiousness is going to be a topic too.
Well, great. We have got a question from someone out there who wants to know, how do they encourage their husband to get on the plan?
Definitely, we always say don't force them on them. Try them with some of our meals. Like, try your husband with cheeseburger pie, and then after that do cheesecake for dessert.
Or maybe if you just sit there with this big slab of gorgeous dessert and just eating it, and you know, this is so yummy, and then he might take a fork and take a bite of it.
Just don't say, Serene and Pearl said you have to do this.
In fact, I never told my husband that I was putting stevia in his food and all. He just never knew it was weight loss. In fact, even when I would buy something really, really healthy, I would take the healthy wrapper off it and put it in a normal thing, because it was placebo for his head, until he and he was like, I love that. And then I would tell him
But you know what? My husband dropped 50 pounds in this planners. It kept it off because he loves the food so much. This is man food. So I'd say bring it in slowly. Don't force the issue, but he's going to love the food.
Yes. This is not like birdseed or sprouted quinoa.
Yeah.
This is some good
This
hearty
is steak
food.
and chicken wings. Yeah.
Well, you can't go wrong with that. I will tell you, I have tried several of your recipes at our house, and my children, my husband, everybody's loved them. So it's very user-friendly.
That's true. And, you know, for people that don't need to lose weight, that are at a healthy weight, that want to just, you know, learn to eat healthy for life and implement these blood sugar balancing principles, you know, basically that's what the book is for too, because once you've lost weight, you'll be maintaining that. The longest part of this journey will be the maintenance for you. And so that's what
we're at our goal weight now, but we're still on the plan every day, because you know, when people spike their blood sugars constantly, it's aging. It's so inflammatory to their body. And so this is just a way of just maintaining vitality and maintaining energy. It's not just about being trim. It's trim healthy, Mama. And actually the healthy is the biggest part of it. It's our biggest focus. It's just that you accidentally find your trim while you're becoming healthy.
Yeah. Well, I am so excited to meet you guys. I definitely can see why this has resonated so much. Your enthusiasm is contagious. Your book is fabulous. I thank you so much for giving us the time today. We are at our 30-minute break, and I promised I wouldn't keep you beyond that, though I feel like I could chat forever. But thank you all so much for coming on with me today. And
yes.
Oh, you're very welcome. And for everybody out there, stay tuned. We've got more speaker hangouts coming up because we want you to get to know those men and women that are going to be pouring their hearts into ministering to us all at Teach Them Diligently this year. And I hope that you will join us in Nashville, in Spartanburg, South Carolina, in Washington, D.C., and in Dallas, Texas this year. We would love to see you there. So you can learn more about Trim Healthy Mama on their website, which is trimhealthymama.com, right?
That's right.
Okay, good. And our website is teachthemdiligently.net, and we just would love to see all of you join us there. For now, we will say goodbye and hopefully see you again soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.